We also have Sheikh Hasina's first statement. After getting that penalty, the verdict is against me made by a rigged tribunal. In that distasteful call for the death penalty, they reveal the brazen and murderous intent of extremist figures within the interim government to remove Bangladesh's last elected Prime Minister and to nullify the Awami League as a political force. Dr. Yunus, on the other hand, came to power unconstitutionally and with the support of extremist elements. Under his rule, every protest from students, garment workers, doctors, nurses, teachers to professionals has been met with suppression. Some of it brutal. Peaceful demonstrators have been shot and killed. Journalists who attempt to report these incidents face harassment and torture, putting forth her side of the story, talking about how she really was the last democratically elected government. Hers was the last democratically elected government. It's a rigged tribunal. It's a charge that she's made, saying that this is a politically motivated verdict in which she has been pronounced, and rather death penalty has been pronounced. Sheikh Hasina's first statement after getting death penalty. The verdict is against me, made by a rigged tribunal. In that distasteful call, she says, for the death penalty, they reveal the brazen and murderous intent of extremist figures within the interim government to remove Bangladesh's last elected Prime Minister and to nullify the Awami League as a political force. Dr. Yunus, on the other hand, came to power unconstitutionally and with the support of extremist elements. Under his rule, every protest from students, garment workers, doctors, nurses and teachers to professionals has been met with suppression, some of it brutal. Peaceful demonstrators have been shot and killed. Remember, there are protests going on in Bangladesh even today. Journalists who attempt to report these incidents face harassment and torture. That's a statement from Sheikh Hasina today after the pronouncement in Rajith of the death penalty, as she talks about how hers was the last democratically elected government in Rajith.
Well, that's right. Here is a statement that we are putting out. This is the official statement coming in from Awami League Supremo, Sheikh Hasina. And she, goes on to state that for the record, I wholly deny, and I quote her, for the record, I wholly deny the accusations that have been made against me in the ICT. I mourn all the deaths that occurred in July and August of last year on both sides of the political divide, but neither I nor other political leaders ordered the killing of protesters. So, Sheikh Hasina vehemently denying the allegations for which she has been indicted and punished today. I comment further on the substance of the charges below. She says that despite its name, there is nothing international about the ICT, nor is it in any way impartial. She's saying that the court that indicted her is not impartial, that this entire trial was politically motivated. She says that its agenda should be evident to anyone who considers the following incontrovertible facts. And she lays down three issues here. One, any senior judge or even senior advocates who have previously expressed any sympathy for the previous government have been removed or intimidated into silence. She claims that the ICT has exclusively prosecuted members of the Awami League. She claims that it has done precisely nothing to prosecute or even investigate perpetrators from any other parties of documented violence against religious minorities, indigenous people, journalists and others. So Sheikh Hasina now trying to point out that ever since her ouster, there have been a series of attacks on the minority Hindu community, other communities. There have been a series of assaults on journalists, in Bangladesh. Those cases and those complaints have not been brought into the ambit of this investigation. And this investigation was solely about Awami League.
That's right. In Rajith.
And therefore, at this point in time, the Awami League leadership remains belligerent.
I'm going to ask you to be with us in Rajith Kundu, getting in those details. Also welcoming Sultan Mohammed Zakaria, senior leader of the NCP, into this conversation. Thank you for your time. We've been talking about the way forward for the Awami League. Sheikh Hasina's first statement, in which she talks about the fact that hers was the last democratically elected government. Unconstitutional elements supported Dr. Yunus and extremists supported Dr. Yunus, and that's how he came to power, is what she said in her first reaction. The tribunal has been rigged, politically motivated. That's what she's spoken about as far as this verdict against her today is concerned. Your response to what she's now saying?
So first of all, I would like to thank you for having me in today's show. I think what Sheikh Hasina has been saying about that her regime was the last elected government is a blatant lie. And everyone knows in the country and beyond that she stole 3 national elections, including the last one. And there was not even any semblance of democratic plurality in the country for the last 10, 15 years. So, I mean, that's one flat lie. Second, whatever she is saying about the court and the trial, I think the ICT tribunal that she set up to persecute or prosecute the crimes against humanity in the 1971 and the ICT tribunal now, if you compare both versions, I think today's version is much better. It gives the dependent more access to lawyers, resources, and justice. It was heard in the open court. Media had access to it, so everything was live broadcasted, and her counsels were allowed to argue her, defend her. So I don't think whatever she is saying make any sense right now. Especially, she didn't show any remorse at all after what she and her party and her regime did to the people of Bangladesh in July and August 2024.
I want to ask you, how do you view this statement from a section who talk about the fact, Sultan Zakaria, that, this verdict is unconstitutional, and also the fact that internationally this will end up only garnering more support for Sheikh Hasina?
Well, she can expect that. I mean, no authoritarian government, despotic leader is toppled through a constitutional means. All the revolution, all the mass uprising leading to the ouster of any dictator, entrenched dictator, must happen beyond the ambit of the existing constitutional order. And that's the new social contract that Bangladesh is living in. No one cares what Sheikh Hasina's constitutionality means. And for her hope that it will garner more support for her in the country and beyond, I think she can hope that. But I mean, we don't see any possibility of that. I speak to our international partners. I have been in the human rights field for almost a decade now. So I have been working with all of my colleagues all around the world, and no one in their right mind, no international human rights organization, I have not spoken to anyone having sympathy for her for the crime that she committed.
Right. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to thank you for joining in with your views and your perspective on that. So we have a section, NCP, of course, very critical of the Awami League, talking about the fact that this is what was expected and that she, in fact, is misleading with her statement when she says that hers was the last democratically elected government in the country. That continues to be a top focus right there, political uncertainty in Bangladesh and this important verdict against Sheikh Hasina today, death order for the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh.